Hi guys, I'm EVM and welcome back. Now every April I look at my utility rates, my gas and electricity, to find out who's the cheapest because things change all the time. And especially with an electric car, you end up using a lot more electric than the average UK household, especially given the mileage that I do. So the best tariff can end up saving you an absolute fortune. For example, last year's video, the tariff I was due to be put onto by my previous supplier compared to the one I ended up on would have ended up costing me nearly £700 more over just 1 year's worth of electric only, all for the sake of staying with them rather than switching. So it's very, very important to do this on a regular basis. You should already know this, but I know a lot of people don't. They either can't be bothered or they don't understand what's going on really. So basically in this video, I'm going to do all the work for you. I'm going to look at all the EV based tariffs out there, find out which is cheapest, and then recommend to you which one you should switch to. So if you like doing my favourite thing in the world, saving money, then keep watching. If you want an enthralling, engaging video, this might not be for you. The first place to start is with the tariffs themselves. Now, I've used a website called Go Ultra Low. It's an industry and government-backed kind of campaign website that shows, among other things, all the electricity tariffs that are aimed at an EV driver. It's basically a website that tries to get people into low or ultra low emission vehicles. On their website, they list 9 tariffs that are designed for an EV driver, and I'm going to compare all of those to see which ultimately comes out cheapest. Those companies that will be on this list are British Gas, Ecotricity, EDF, E.ON, Good Energy, Octopus, OVO, Scottish Power and Tonic. They all do many different tariffs, of course, but these are ones that are specifically aimed at the EV driver and are perceived, at least, to be cheaper for them. Now, the majority, if not all of these, will require a smart meter, which I'll come to later on, because they all typically use a time of day tariff sort of approach. So, for example, it will be cheaper at night, will the electricity, than it will during the day, which is very important and ultimately is the entire key and linchpin to this whole thing of making it cheap as possible to charge your car and use electricity at home. Right, now we're going to start with me showing you how I've done the calculations I've done for my current provider, which is Octopus Energy, and then rather than show you the calculations for each individual one of these, which will be even more tedious than the video already is, I'm just going to give you the prices for everyone. So I'll show you how I do my calculations, and then I'm just going to give you the prices in some sort of league table, as it were, to see who's the cheapest and who's the most expensive. Right, as I said, I'm currently with Octopus. I'm going to use the Go tariff rather than the Agile one because it's static and it's a lot easier to figure out as a comparison for this. Now, to know how much you're going to use or to predict it, you need to know how much on average you use per month, but also crucially, how much you use during the night or off-peak periods and how much you use during the day. That is key to all this. Let me just bring this up. I use on average 787 kilowatt hours per month. Obviously some months it's higher, some it's lower. That is my average over a 12-month period. I've had smart meters for a few years now, so this is quite easy for me to figure out. As you can see there, I use 400 kilowatt hours during the off-peak period, which on this specific tariff is between midnight and 4:30 in the morning. I use 387 kilowatt hours during the rest of the day. So you can clearly see I use more during the off-peak cheaper time than I do during the rest of the day. 95% of that 400 kilowatt hours is probably my car charging, because I charge my car at night because that's when it's cheapest to do so. And no, I don't go out at midnight to plug the thing in. All EVs, at least all the ones I can think of, have charge timers built in. So if I go out and plug my car in now, it won't actually start charging until I tell it to, until that timer kicks in. In this case, it would be midnight, and then it starts charging. So it doesn't matter when you plug it in, it will always charge at the cheapest rate. It can be overridden, of course, as well, but ultimately it's very easy to shift your usage to this period. And that's what a lot of these tariffs are about, shifting your usage to the night time when there's lots of electricity. It's a lot cheaper, and it ultimately helps balance the grid. Right, back to the calculations. They charge 13.3333p for standard rate for during the day, effectively, and just 5 pence for off-peak, for the midnight to 4 time. And the standing charge is 25p per day. So it's very simple, 13.33 pence times 387 and 5 pence times 400. Add that all together and then do 25 pence for the standing charge times 30 days. I'm going to assume months have 30 days just for the sake of comparison on this one. And then you just add it all together to give you the average monthly fee. So I do all the figures for this and you get out at £51.59. It will have cost me for 387 kilowatt hours of electricity during the day. And at night, 400 kilowatt hours has cost me just £20. The standing charge comes at £7.50 per month. Add all those together and we end up with £79.09 for my average monthly predicted usage with Octopus Go's tariff. What I'll do then is times that by 12 to give us my average yearly prediction, and that's the figure I'm going to use for the rest of the providers in this comparison chart. However, it's worth noting at this point that this highlights exactly why a time of day tariff is key to all this and why a smart meter is a very good thing. A lot of people out there hate smart meters because the Daily Mail says they're bad. Now, don't get me wrong, the rollout has been a total shambles, a complete waste of money, and it's been done so inefficiently, it's ruined it all, to be fair. It's cost the country a fortune and it shouldn't have happened. But the smart meters as a thing in your house, they're a very good thing to have and something I can only say I recommend everyone to get. It does make things a lot easier and it gives you access to tariffs like these. I mean, just look at this. I have used 400 kilowatt hours during a 4-hour period and it's only cost me £20. I have used less electricity, 387 during the rest of the day, but it's cost me £51. So I've ended up using less electricity but paying nearly 3 times more for that same electric just because of the time of day. If I'd have charged my car during the day, it would have cost me a lot more than it would have done because I'd have paid nearly 3 times as much. So you can see where we're going here. It's all about shifting your electricity usage into this off-peak period. With a car, which for me uses more than half of the electricity of my total house uses, you know, the car is the biggest user. It's very easy. As I said, you just put the timer on. I should say that we haven't changed anything in our daily lifestyle. We aren't putting the washing machine on past midnight or anything like that, or timing anything else to use during the off-peak. We have just used everything as we normally do. The only thing we've changed is the car because that uses a lot of the electricity. It should be said as well that the tariff prices that I've got may be slightly different to yours. There are sometimes regional differences between the prices that people charge. Oh, and because I'm a referral whore, very quickly, I have a link in the description below. If I hope Octopus Energy turned out to be the cheapest, because that means I don't have to switch, which is a bit of a pain, then use the referral link in the description below because I get £50 credited to my account and you get £50 as well. So fingers crossed that's the case because then it means I don't have to go through the switching process. Right, so that shows you how I've done the calculations. And I should point out that some of these tariffs have 3 rates for the day, not just 2. So standard, off-peak and on-peak. So I've accounted for all that in these calculations. I'm just not going to bore you by showing you every one for every provider. Let's just go straight to the cheapest league table and see who is the one that I'm going to recommend you go with because it saves money. I think for this I'm going to have to just squidge over a little bit so I can do this. Yep, I spent a long time doing that one. But it's the data that's inside it that counts than the special effects themselves, isn't it? Right, okay, let's bring this up and get going. So, April 2020, the best EV tariff. Now, start with the most expensive first. So, who are the Norwich of EV tariffs on this one? It is, with an astonishing £1,729 a year for your electric alone, there's no gas in this, it is E.ON. This is a tariff designed for EV drivers, but clearly they've missed something off because that for me is very expensive. And once we get to the number one, the cheapest rate, you'll see exactly what I mean. Next one in place is Good Energy. They're at £1,667. So still very expensive and not particularly good tariff. Next, we have OVO at 1,425. So we've got a little bit of a jump here. They're doing much better at OVO, but still not exactly the cheapest. Mid-table we're getting to now. Ecotricity next, the green vegans' favourite, and also those that are responsible for those lovely, reliable chargers at the service areas that everybody likes to use. They're coming in at £1,378. In the middle, we have Tonic at £1,327. Fourth place, just outside the top three, we have British Gas. Unusually, I didn't see that one coming, at £1,262. So now we're on to the top three. Who's going to get in the Champions League slots on this EV tariff table? Anybody that doesn't follow football isn't going to get that reference at all, but I'm going to plough on anyway. Third place, we have Scottish Power, £1,211. Not a bad showing there. Second place now. Obviously that will tell us who's in first, so I'm going to show you both at the same time to just ramp up the tension. I can see everybody's dying to know this one. We have in first place with the cheapest tariff at £949. It's Octopus Energy once again. They are the cheapest, followed by EDF Energy in second place. So you can clearly see here that for the second year running, for me anyway, under my usage, given the calculations I've done, Octopus are the cheapest and ultimately the ones I'm going to be sticking with. £949 as opposed to down at the bottom, E.ON at £1,729. I mean, that's what, nearly £800 dearer for a single year's worth of electricity alone. It's the same product, the only difference will be the customer service you get, and Octopus are usually in the top 2 or 3 for customer service according to various surveys and Which and all that sort of stuff as well. So this kind of annoys me really, where someone's basically selling the same thing but charging, well, what's that in percentage terms? Assuming I've got my calculations correct, E.ON is 82% more expensive than Octopus. 82%. I mean, that's not just a bit more expensive, is it? That is extortionate. And it shows exactly why people need to pay attention to the tariff they're on, even without an electric car. But especially with an EV, where you have higher usage, you will save more by getting on the best electricity tariff than you would by getting solar panels. The payback rate, depending on what you could have been on or what you are on, could save you hundreds and hundreds of pounds. The figures don't lie. I didn't expect that difference. That is just ridiculous. Now, one tariff that is missing from this, which is quite popular in the EV world, is bulb. They weren't on the Go Ultra website, so maybe it's not designed for EV specifically, but I think it's one worth just double checking for you. For the year for bulb will be £1,232, so that would put them in 4th place, just so everyone knows. And now I think it's worth finding out the UK average for electricity tariff to see how much that would come out at. Now, according to this, I don't think it's for this year, but I'll use it as an average anyway. The average cost of electricity per kilowatt hour in the UK is 14.37 pence. £1,465 it would cost on the UK average tariff. So still nearly, well, just over £500 dearer than Octopus are. Well, if you wanted any more evidence as to why you need to look at your bills and think, can I make that any cheaper? This is it. So clearly I'm going to be recommending, and for me, staying with Octopus Energy. I like my referrals. I'm a little bit of a referral whore, so please do use that if this video has been of any use to you. And well, there you go. Saving money is a good thing. Right, well, let me know in the comments what you think of this. Has it made you look at your tariff? In fact, why don't you get your pricing for your tariff, your kilowatt hours, and see what yours would work out using my usage pattern. It's all at the beginning. I use 787 kilowatt hours during a month and 400 during the cheap rate, 387 during the normal standard rate. So put in the comments below how much it would have cost you based on my usage in the comments. That would be quite interesting to figure out. And don't forget to put obviously who you're with and what tariff you're on. Clearly, I haven't looked at every single tariff on the market. I would be here all throughout this lockdown period just looking at them, because there are a lot of people out there doing that. But in terms of all the ones I've heard of and all the ones that have been around long enough to make you at least think they're still going to be around in another 3 months' time. This, I think, is a good indication of the market at the moment. Right, that's it. Thanks for watching, guys. Please do subscribe. Even in this lockdown period, it does help because manufacturers pay attention to subscriber numbers more than anything, it seems. So if you can, please do that. And, well, I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.